Congrats on your little bump.
What about my bump?
You've got two nice ones.
And they are kind of bumps, aren't they?
No, not bumps.
I haven't given myself time to recover or time to heal. I had a intense year.
Isn't it just wild how fast a pristine reputation can go up in flames? Blake Lively, the Hollywood Golden Girl, is watching her spotless image crumble, and it's happening at breakneck speed. What started as a minor PR hiccup has spiraled into a full-blown disaster, and let's be real, nobody saw this coming. In just a matter of days, she and her team have turned what should have been a forgettable misstep into a public spectacle so chaotic that fans are straight up calling it one of the biggest celebrity PR failures in years. People are in shock at how badly this has been handled, and the internet, it's eating this mess up like a gourmet meal. And just when you thought it couldn't get any messier, her husband, Hollywood's favorite funny guy, Reynolds, willingly jumped into the chaos and dragged Justin Baldoni deeper into the mix. The level of pettiness that's been exposed? Unreal. The receipts are piling up fast, and every hour, the internet finds another layer to the madness. It's a social media storm with no end in sight. We have so much to get into. So sit back, grab your popcorn, and get ready for a wild ride.
Tonight, the publicist accused of helping orchestrate a smear campaign against Blake Lively after the actress complained of sexual misconduct on the set of her latest film says there was no such smear campaign. Publicist Jennifer Abel represents director and actor Justin Baldoni.
Because this isn't just drama. This is Hollywood history in the making. Let's break it all down. From the very beginning, the blame game. The absolute disaster began the moment Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni stepped into the spotlight to promote It Ends With Us, a film that was already drenched in controversy long before the cameras even started rolling. The reason? The movie tackles deeply sensitive topics like domestic violence and emotional trauma, which means the cast and crew had one job: handle it with respect, empathy, and seriousness. But did they do that? Not even close. Instead of approaching things with the delicacy the subject matter deserved, Blake started raising eyebrows left and right. Fans quickly picked up on her odd behavior during interviews, throwing side eyes, giving dismissive answers, and using a casual, almost indifferent tone whenever the topics of domestic violence or trauma came up. And to make matters even worse, she seemed way more focused on using the press tour as a platform to promote her own business ventures rather than engaging with the film's actual message. It didn't take long for social media to explode. Overnight, Twitter was flooded with detailed threads exposing her behavior, breaking down exact moments where she appeared insensitive or completely out of touch. People were dissecting her interviews moment by moment, pointing out how she continuously brushed past the real issues. But here's where things went from bad to worse. Instead of taking a step back and issuing a well-crafted apology to smooth things over, Blake's team made the worst possible move. They doubled down and tried to shift the entire blame onto Justin Baldoni. Like, seriously? Did they really think the internet wouldn't immediately put those interviews under a microscope? Because that's exactly what happened.
The lovely lady lumps. Check it out.
Thank you. Thank you. You like the movie? Are you a Woody Allen fan?
I love most of his movies, and this one was so, visually amazing.
Fans went full investigator mode, piecing together side-by-side clips comparing Blake's reactions to Justin's responses, and the results? Not good. Instead of quieting the backlash, her team's decision just fanned the flames, making the whole situation 10 times worse.
The internet never loses when it comes to digging up receipts. And let's just say, those receipts did not do Blake Lively any favors. What started as a minor controversy quickly exploded into a full-blown media circus, all because her team made the rookie mistake of deflecting blame instead of just admitting, hey, Blake had an off day. It happens. We move on.
But nope. They shot themselves in the foot by trying to shift the heat onto Justin Baldoni. And the second they pulled that stunt, the entire narrative flipped on its head. Instead of moving past the backlash, people started asking, wait a minute, is there something bigger Blake is trying to hide? And from there, it was game over.
I told them that I wasn't in the best place. I told them that I was exhausted, that I haven't given myself time to recover or time to heal.
Because here's the thing. Once social media locks onto a scandal, it's not letting go. You can't just wish a trending topic away. The moment Blake's team made it about finger pointing instead of damage control, the internet doubled down on dissecting everything. Every glance, every tone shift, every moment of those interviews got rewatched, clipped, and analyzed frame by frame. And with every new clip, the backlash only got worse. But if you thought that was bad, oh, just wait! Because instead of pausing to regroup and maybe, acknowledge why people were upset, Blake's team decided to level up the mess. Their next brilliant move, claiming that the backlash was all part of some orchestrated smear campaign, cue the collective eye roll from everyone watching. Because let's be real, calling legitimate criticism planted is one of the oldest and weakest PR tactics in the book. Like, we've seen this play out so many times before, and it never works. The whole idea was, if we convince people that all the backlash is fake, maybe they'll start doubting its legitimacy. But guess what? It's 2025. Fans are smarter than ever when it comes to spotting PR spin.
Lively accused him and a producer of sexual harassment while they worked on the movie It Ends With Us, which, by the way, is about domestic violence. On Friday, Lively filed a civil rights complaint accusing Baldoni of sexual harassment and retaliation. The New York Times obtained the complaint, which includes Lively accusing...
Nobody's falling for the manufactured outrage defense anymore. And if you're gonna claim that entire waves of criticism are fake, you better be 1,000% sure that there aren't gigabytes of video evidence proving otherwise. Because in this case, there absolutely were. Spoiler alert, there were plenty of receipts, and they were everywhere. TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, you name it. People weren't just hearing about Blake's dismissive remarks, they were watching them unfold in real time. Every smirk, every eye roll, every tone-deaf comment, all captured, uploaded, and dissected by an audience that's practically earned PhDs in celebrity scrutiny. So, that planted story excuse? Yeah, it backfired spectacularly. Instead of putting out the fire, Blake's team poured gasoline on it. Like, did they really think they could gaslight the internet, the same internet that lives for catching celebs slipping? It was an insult to every fan's intelligence, and honestly, it shattered whatever credibility Blake's camp had left. And here's where the irony kicks in. By desperately trying to bury these interviews, they practically invited fans to go digging even deeper. It was the Streisand effect on steroids. The harder they tried to shut it down, the more people became obsessed with uncovering every detail. If there was ever a moment to step up, take accountability, and redirect the conversation back to the film's deeper themes, this was it. But did they take it? Absolutely not. Instead of apologizing or even acknowledging the backlash, they went full victim mode. And not just against fans. Oh no, they took it a step further, insinuating that major media outlets were part of some orchestrated takedown. Like, come on! At this point, they weren't just feeding the drama, they were handing it a megaphone and saying, please, get even louder. And just when you thought the PR nightmare couldn't get any worse, they decided to lawyer up. Because yes, of course. What better way to handle a crisis about insensitive remarks than to sick the legal team on critics? That's the exact opposite of what you do when the world is already side-eyeing you for being out of touch. It was PR Armageddon, and somehow Blake's team still found a way to make it even more catastrophic. So, what did Blake's team do next? They cranked the disaster up to lawsuit level, turning this PR nightmare into a full-blown legal circus. Because we all know the second lawyers step in, the entire conversation shifts. Suddenly, it's not about whether Blake was rude or dismissive anymore. Now, it's about cease and desist letters, alleged smear campaigns, and defamation threats. What was supposed to be a film about surviving domestic violence had now been hijacked by legal drama and tabloid frenzy. And let's be real, if the goal was to silence the controversy, this move did the exact opposite. The moment Blake's team went the legal route, they blew the lid off everything. Instead of allowing the conversation to focus on healing and empowerment, which is literally the core theme of It Ends With Us, we ended up neck deep in legal documents, threats, and tea-spilling depositions. It was the equivalent of throwing gasoline on a dumpster fire. Fans and the press were already in full-on detective mode, and now they had a whole new angle to investigate. And this is where things really took a turn. Because once people started digging into Blake's past, a floodgate of stories opened up. Suddenly, it wasn't just fans who had a problem with her attitude. Past co-workers, ex-staffers, and behind-the-scenes insiders started coming forward with their own experiences. And they weren't pretty. We're talking first-hand accounts of her alleged mean streak, her difficult reputation, and the kind of stories that make you rethink everything you thought you knew about a celeb. Because here's the thing. When random fans are mad about something you said, that's one thing. But when former employees, industry professionals, and people who've actually worked with you start backing up those claims, that's when you know the narrative is officially out of your control. And the worst part? The entire message of It Ends With Us, a film meant to shine a light on domestic violence and the complexities of survivor experiences, got completely buried in the chaos. What was supposed to be a powerful story about strength and resilience had turned into nothing but a headline-fueling disaster. Instead of discussing whether It Ends With Us did justice to its heavy themes, the entire conversation had completely derailed. The public wasn't talking about domestic violence, survivor experiences, or healing. They were laser-focused on the absolute meltdown surrounding its leading actress. And just when you thought the drama train had run out of tracks, in comes Ryan Reynolds, hauling in a fresh new load of chaos. Now, we all know Ryan's brand. He's Hollywood's king of snark, the witty, fourth-wall-breaking Deadpool star who can turn any situation into a punchline. But this time, that signature sarcasm might have backfired. Big time! Fans are convinced that Ryan's latest Deadpool 3 scenes are not so subtly throwing direct shade at Justin Baldoni.
Bully the star.
Can we just be done?
Ooh, we're just getting started.
E.T. obtained the 5-page demand letter Justin's attorney sent to Marvel and Disney asking that they preserve all relevant documents relating to the development of the character. The evidence linking Baldoni to Nice Pool? Well, there's the man bun, a hairstyle Justin had for years, and references to body shaming, something Blake accuses Justin of doing.
She just had a baby too,
And the receipts? Oh, they're stacking up. Let's break it down. Apparently, certain jokes, references, and even visual cues in Deadpool 3 are just a little too specific to be coincidental. There's talk that the script mocks podcast culture, which, just so happens to be a huge part of Justin's brand since he runs a major podcast on masculinity. And then there's a suspiciously familiar subplot about dealing with an uncooperative co-star. Sound familiar? Because fans think so. And here's where it gets real messy. Blake's camp had already thrown Justin under the bus, accusing him of everything from body shaming to stifling her creative vision. So when fans started noticing Deadpool 3 seemingly mirroring all this drama, the questions started rolling in. If Blake was truly traumatized by Justin's actions, why is Ryan out here making comedic jabs about it? That's the million-dollar question, because either this means the allegations weren't taken seriously behind closed doors, or it means they're milking the controversy for a marketing stunt. And neither of those options is a good look. Fans are calling it cringeworthy, tone-deaf, and flat-out messy. And guess who wasted no time in firing back? Justin Baldoni's legal team. They pounced on the situation, claiming that Ryan's Deadpool antics proved that Blake and Ryan were never serious about the accusations in the first place. According to them, this whole saga has been nothing but a spectacle, and Ryan just handed them even more ammo. What started as a serious set of allegations has now morphed into something that looks way more like a petty, drawn-out feud, one that's somehow spilled over into a multi-million-dollar superhero franchise. And let's be real, if you're a judge, a jury member, or even just a neutral observer, this whole mess raises a huge question. How sincere were Blake's claims to begin with? Because right now, her credibility is hanging by a thread. Remember when Blake and Ryan were considered one of Hollywood's golden couples? They had that polished, squeaky clean image. Funny, charming, philanthropic. They were the epitome of a power couple. Well, that picture-perfect brand, it's getting torn to shreds, fast. At this point, the entire fiasco feels like a masterclass in how to burn your own reputation to the ground at lightning speed. And here's the real kicker. Instead of presenting a united front, Blake and Ryan are coming across as messy, disorganized, and catty. Blake's been accused of trying to overshadow Justin Baldoni on the It Ends With Us set, while Ryan's not-so-subtle digs in Deadpool 3 are making him look like he's personally invested in dragging Justin through the mud. And let's talk about the rumor that has everyone raising their eyebrows. Word on the street is that Ryan actually floated the idea of buying Justin out of his own film. Yes, you read that right. Allegedly, Ryan was willing to pay to have Justin step away from a project that Justin himself brought to life. That is wild. Think about the level of entitlement that takes, trying to write a guy out of his own vision just because he's inconvenient to your narrative. And the best part, Justin refused. He stood his ground, which only made Blake and Ryan look even more desperate to wrestle total control over a movie that they didn't even originate. At this point, the public isn't seeing a power couple. They're seeing two high school bullies who've convinced themselves they can do no wrong. And the more they try to manipulate the situation, the worse they look. And then there's the premiere fiasco, because of course, this mess wasn't chaotic enough. Reports say that Justin Baldoni, the actual driving force behind It Ends With Us, was sidelined from major interviews, while Blake effortlessly took center stage. What should have been a career-defining moment for the film's original champion turned into a total humiliation. The whole situation? Screaming mean girls, but with way more money and even bigger egos. So now, the big question, where does this disaster go from here? Because if Justin's legal team can prove that Blake's allegations are full of inconsistencies, especially when you factor in Ryan's not-so-subtle jokes, then this entire legal battle could flip on its head. Think about it. How seriously can you take claims of harassment, body shaming, or on-set misconduct when your own husband is literally out here making comedic jabs about them in a blockbuster movie? That's the kind of contradiction that destroys credibility. Meanwhile, It Ends With Us, a film that was supposed to be about survival, healing, and domestic violence awareness, has been completely hijacked by celebrity pettiness. Fans of the book? Livid. They wanted an emotional, heartfelt adaptation, not a Hollywood feud playing out in real time. Production insiders are leaking even more behind-the-scenes drama, and the cast and crew, who probably just wanted to make a meaningful film, are now stuck answering awkward questions about lawsuits, PR blunders, and shady jokes. And as for Blake, she's officially in a lose-lose situation. If she doubles down on her original accusations, people will point to Ryan's sarcastic references and call her a hypocrite. If she backtracks now, she looks manipulative and untrustworthy. Either way, she's trapped. This is what we call PR checkmate, and not the kind that ends with a comeback. Honestly, this entire meltdown is going down in history. What started as a few raised eyebrows over Blake Lively's attitude has exploded into a multi-layered disaster, complete with blame games, conspiracy theories, lawsuits, and even a possible sabotage plot, courtesy of Ryan Reynolds. At this point, it's the ultimate case study in how not to handle a crisis. Every single decision made by Blake's camp has somehow managed to make things worse. It's like watching a train wreck in slow motion. You can't look away. So now, I gotta ask, what do y'all think? Is Blake's team just grasping at straws at this point, or is there some bigger, unseen force pulling the strings behind the scenes? Have we hit the point of no return for Blake's once flawless reputation? Or is there still a way for her to claw her way back by finally taking some real accountability? I need y'all to sound off in the comments because this tea is too wild to process alone. One thing's for sure, this drama, it's nowhere near over. The internet is locked in, the media is feeding off the chaos, and at this rate, Who knows what tomorrow's headlines will bring? So, if you don't want to miss a single juicy update, you better hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and share this video with your fellow drama lovers. Because trust me, the next twist in this Hollywood soap opera is just around the corner. Until next time, stay messy, stay blessed, and I'll catch you in the next drama-filled update.